Welcome to the Warning Track Power Hour. I'm Andrew Scaff. He's Mike Werman. He's a medieval historian. I'm a biochemist. Today, we're going to recap our last week's NFL divisional Vegas betting special. How excited are you, Mike?
Very, I'll say very excited.
So I think we'll
I was
have
going to
the
say
options.
extremely, but I decided to ratchet it down just to very.
Just very.
Yeah, just say very.
Well,
I don't want to overhype it,
but
I don't want to undersell it either. So fair. We'll just say very.
fair. That's fair. We'll have our options to gloat at our successes. Maybe complain about teams that underperformed what our expectations were, or just accept the wins and losses as we had them. We both did pretty well actually. So
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, you did slightly better, so you'll get your chance at the end to gloat at your mastery.
I see.
Over me. Cause
Yeah, but I'm sure this will all come crashing down this week.
I don't know. There will be another week, so you should take your gloating while you can.
I'm known for anything. It's my humility.
Are you the humblest person that you know?
Oh, almost certainly.
There was an award for humbleness.
Uriah Heep, if you know the Charles Dickens character.
Yes.
Ever so humble. Yes. We ended up betting $500 over 4 contests, 8 possibilities.
Yeah.
That were spread and plus or minus over under scores, and then also our special $100 prop bet with based on the futility of Taysom Hill
or possible success. That was
possible success, who turned out to be even more futile than I could imagine.
And personally, I think it affected the outcome of the actual game too. So
okay,
not being there, so that's
good. That's possible.
Not like him. Besides, that he annoys you. Now he annoys me too, because he messed up my bet.
Yeah, but we ended up betting $500 total, and I wound up with $660. So a gain of $160. That does not include the vig, the juice. Usually it's 10% or so of the total bet. So if you have to bet one, if you want to win $100, you have to bet $110. But we just took that out just for simplicity's sake. And you ended up with, was it 610?
600.
600.
Yeah.
So we ended up both, even if there had been juice that we would have had to bet, we both would have made money last weekend, which I think is a testament to our expertise.
And it means we should start betting for real automatically.
Yeah. We should cash in our life savings, our mortgages, our 401ks, whatever we have.
Let it all ride this weekend.
That seems like really the only thing that we should, the only real possibility.
Yeah. So, I mean, we learned this now, so
we have 1 week. Where can we go wrong? This is a large enough sample size, I'm sure.
Yeah. So should we run through each game real quick?
Let's run through each game, and then and we can talk a little bit more about our friend Taysom Hill, and then we can go ahead and go on to this week's matchups and this week's bets.
So the game 1 was Packers-Rams. We both were more confident in the over/under bet. I had you had $80 on the over. I had $75 on the over. We both won on that one.
Yeah, what was the number? It was 50. Was it 52?
It was the over/under was 46.
46. It was extremely low. Yeah, 46. So yeah, I think.
And finished at 50. So.
Yeah, I think.
Both happy with that bet.
We're both happy.
I had $25 on the Packers minus 6.5. You had $20 on the Rams plus 6.5. Packers
the right call there.
2 touchdowns. So I ended up winning the full bet on that one. My best game easily of that weekend. And you ended up not winning the other bet, but I had a lot more money on the over. Confidence on the over, not necessarily on the outcome of the game.
No, I didn't. I wasn't sure. I still don't think the Packers are very good. So I thought the Rams might hold it together, especially with their defense.
So do you blame your pick, or do you blame the Rams for losing you this 25 fake dollars?
Well, I guess I blame the Rams, but I understand why I lost with the Rams. Like I thought, well, I didn't necessarily know Goff was going to play. Instead of one thing when that bet was made, I don't know if we knew Wolford was going to be out. Although, Goff is their starter, but he is pretty banged up. He had that horrible hand injury, so I didn't think he'd be able to throw very well. So I thought Wolford was it a stinger, a concussion, something head neck thing with Wolford or something.
Right.
I thought maybe he would have come back.
Stinger, that's what they said.
And I thought maybe they would be more competitive. And I thought I thought Aaron Donald might keep and Jalen Ramsey, that defense keep them in the game more. But Donald was hurt much of the time. Ramsey did a pretty good job against Devontae Adams, but the Packers still scored pretty easily because I think there wasn't much of a pass rush, and there wasn't really much of a. Donald is so great against the rush and the run and the pass, and with him out, it's almost like Patrick Mahomes being out for the Chiefs. He's probably the only one of the few defensive players that really changes the outcome of the game. So I think maybe they could have kept it closer, although that probably might not have been very good for the over/under. So,
but that played out the way we thought.
I feel good about the over/under, so I'm not too upset about the spread. But you picked the right. Partly, I think I picked against the Packers because of my. I just don't think they're very good, and partly because I don't think their front office is very good. Picking Jordan Love and stuff like that, not really.
Front office isn't playing the game though, so
no, but they aren't maximizing the talent level around Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
And I think you could see how I don't think they're any better really than they were last year when they got smoked by San Francisco in the NFC Championship game. I think
maybe that will give them the chance of going to Super Bowl because there is no San Francisco in the playoffs at this point.
No, I think fortunately they're playing. I think the NFC is weaker than it was last year, so I think they might have an easier route to the Super Bowl. Although I think Tampa could challenge them.
Yeah, but we'll see if your dislike of the Packers will carry through to the next game here. We'll see if you'll bet against them again.
Yeah, I know. That's one reason I like those over/unders. I'm a little bit of an emotional bettor when it comes to certain teams, and I don't hate teams because of where they're from usually, but usually it's the people on those teams, or the people running those teams, or sometimes the fans of those teams. I dislike. I know that's what's one of your dislikes. You have certain teams because of.
Maybe that's a good lead into the next game because maybe the next team has. The next game had some more hateable fans between Buffalo and Baltimore.
Are you talking about Bills Mafia?
Yeah.
And how their generous sort of donations to Lamar Jackson's charity that was not rubbing their faces in it, his nose in it at all, but it was simply a magnanimous gesture as reported by the national news media.
Or was it?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it was nice-ish, but it's not. It's kind of you could have given the money before you could have given all that money before the game.
Right.
No, you're doing it after the game. After you say, you guys got hurt. Here's some money. So I think it's a little bit late for great sportsmanship, but I was happy about that game because I thought, although I thought. What was our bet?
We neither of us had confidence in either of the bets in this one. We split our bets 50-50 between the over/under and the team. I had the over, you had the under.
Yeah, I feel good about that.
I had Buffalo, you had the Ravens, so we each won one bet in this case.
Yeah,
the under was way under. Was an over/under 50. The final score 17-13 Buffalo.
Yeah, I thought one of the teams probably wasn't going to score very many points.
17-3. Sorry, 17-3.
Yeah, it was only 20. Yeah,
30 points under.
Yeah, I thought 10 Buffalo only scored 10 points. They had a pick six that resulted in the other 7. So,
right.
I thought that the Ravens could hold Buffalo to a low scoring game. Because I didn't think Buffalo's off. I think Buffalo's offense is extremely streaky, and I think they aren't as good against good teams. And they proved that they weren't that good, but they also held Baltimore down in a way that I didn't think they would. Although if you force the Ravens to pass, Also, the conditions were a little bit windy, which made it even more difficult for Jackson, who is still he's a run-first quarterback. He's
Hmm.
good at throwing it when things are going very
Yeah.
downhill.
Well, they don't when it's not expected, right? But
Yeah,
you
yeah,
run,
or
run,
when
run,
it
run,
goes
run,
down.
run, and then you get an opportunity to throw when no one's looking,
Yeah,
right?
so he's a kind of mix it up surprise thrower still. Uh, I kind of think that's a little bit what Josh Allen still is, really, but Allen's more of a throw first guy.
Yeah.
He's certainly got a bigger arm than Jackson and it has better receiving talent around him
Definitely.
than Jackson does.
And you could see a few of the passes that were downfield that the wind was affecting some of the throws, at least.
But yeah, it was
and the
windy.
kicking game too. There were a bunch of missed field goals, and
Yeah, it was also very windy though again with the Chiefs Browns, and that didn't seem to affect those teams as much because I think they have better quarterbacks, at least at throwing accurately.
but the two windiest games had
They,
both were under the over/under number. So
they missed field goals and stuff. I think we'll talk about the Chiefs Browns, but I think a lot of the over/unders because Mahomes is hurt.
Yeah.
That could have stayed. That could have gone either way, but
it was fairly late when that injury happened too.
Yeah.
So it was
2:30.
they were playing as if the game was going to be.
Yeah, it was 5/8. Yeah, 5/8 of the game had been played when Mahomes was about halfway through the third quarter. So, but I guess back to the Buffalo-Baltimore game, that pick six could have changed it for the spread on me, on my end. But I wasn't very confident.
Sure.
I should have bet more on the under, but that's how it goes.
Yeah, I thought the outcome wasn't far off of what I thought would happen, but I thought there would be more. I thought the game would be more back and forth, more scoring though. Really, like I thought Baltimore would come out and score early so that the point totals would go up. But I thought Buffalo would win, but there would be a lot more points scored.
Yeah. You don't think of Buffalo's defense as being very good. You think the Ravens' offense is being pretty good.
Yeah.
As you think the Ravens' defense isn't like classic Ravens defense really either. So you think Buffalo?
No.
That's
that's what I thought. Yeah, that Allen would end up. Dominating Baltimore's defense, but Baltimore would be scoring though too. So
yeah, it's one of those games I probably wouldn't have bet much on. 50-50 either way. I didn't want you, and you didn't want really much of a part of that game. And that was probably smart, but we broke even.
Yeah.
So
yeah, maybe now into the game that neither of us actually wanted any part of.
No,
Kansas City, Cleveland.
Yeah, I don't want
our own team.
I don't want to bet against the Chiefs usually, so I ended up betting a lot on the.
Well, you split your bet.
I split my bet, so I bet even on the over under.
So you had the under and KC -10.
Under KC -10, yeah, and had Mahomes play the whole game.
Getting your money back. The under did hit because they were 17 points under the number 56.
Yeah, the under hit. So, had Henny not played and had Mahomes played, maybe the spread would have been. We also have missed field goal, missed extra point for the Chiefs. That's 4 points on that side. It might have caused the Browns to score more, so maybe the spread wouldn't have been different. The over/under would have been different. So that's one of those games where if a star player gets hurt, this is one of those things you don't predict, and if that really changes the trajectory of the game. So I feel fortunate that I got one right.
Yeah, the Chiefs didn't play, I don't think, super aggressively early either, which I think probably looks towards a lower scoring game than too if they're not trying to pour it on early, and they definitely weren't.
No,
doing that during the game anyway.
They didn't go for that many times.
But I thought that was how that game was going to go. The Chiefs were going to score early and often. So I had $70 on the over.
They kind of did. They scored when they scored every time they had the ball in the first half, but they had 2 touchdowns, 2 field goals. And they missed that field goal, and then Mahomes got hurt. So that really kind of ended their possibility of catching that over. And I think had they scored more, Cleveland would have hurried it up more. But maybe they wouldn't have scored more because Cleveland's strength is the running game. And since the Chiefs weren't that far ahead, Cleveland could run the ball and milk the clock somewhat without hurting them too much, but they ended up milking the clock too much, I think. And that last drive, since it didn't, people are criticizing them for not going for it on 4th and 9, but
Yeah.
That was back in their own end. They went for it on 4th and 1 or something, which I think was good. But 4th and 9, your odds aren't very good. And with the backup quarterback playing, you think, oh, I can get a stop here. And
Yeah.
most teams would have punted the ball away and at least given Cleveland a chance at the end, but the Chiefs didn't. So, and that Henny scramble and the 4th down conversion, those are somewhat.
Did you think Kenny was going to snap the ball on that fourth
No,
one play?
I thought they were going to punt.
Yeah.
I thought they were going to punt because
gutsy call.
They were lined up. But when they actually lined up and acted so nonchalant about it, I thought that looks really weird because they aren't trying to sell it. They're trying to sell it the other way. They're trying to sell the idea that they don't.
We're trying to sell the hard count, right?
Yeah,
that's usually what you would expect.
Act like you're gonna go.
Yeah, but if you rush up there, you get right under center. You make a lot of noise.
Yeah. Here they were acting like, oh, we're lining up in shotgun. You could see them kind of slouch their shoulders. You say, okay, this might be a fake. It's like a fake punt or something. It's a phony surrender. They ran that play, I think, as they showed on replays. They ran a similar play as the Chiefs did with Mahomes still in quarterback to ice the game against Miami when they got it to Tyreek Hill again. So
just get him the ball in space and let him get the couple yards. Right?
A brave call by Andy Reid. And
a solid pass from Henny.
Yeah,
job done too.
Much better than
after having just made that long
interception.
Third 15.
Oh, that scramble
run.
I thought he had the first down, but then he did. He was down. Usually
from the angle that we saw on TV live.
Yeah,
it looked like he got it, but that was where his back was to the camera.
Usually they give you that spot.
And they, when they showed it from the other angle,
his elbow went down early. And supposedly Mahomes told Henny after the game his elbow was down there. So it seems like Mahomes had his faculties with him, which may indicate that he did not have a concussion, or at least not a severe concussion.
Right.
And we'll talk more about that when we talk about the game.
Yeah.
The game we're going to bet on, but yeah. So I feel, I feel very happy the Chiefs won that game, and I also broke even. So.
Yeah, I didn't quite break even on that one. I did win my $30 bet by taking Cleveland +10 on that one. Chiefs had not done well covering the spread, so I thought maybe if the game wasn't as exciting as I'd hoped it'd be, then at least I'd win the small amount as kind of a compensation. But
yeah, I think that was a good bet. I thought maybe the Chiefs would play harder in the playoffs than they had in the regular season, because it seems like the reason the Chiefs weren't covering was not because the Chiefs were barely beating their opponents, was because they were not really trying to beat their opponents. As
we're not finishing the game.
And a lot of those close games were,
right?
The Saints score a touchdown in the final minute, and they're down by 2 scores going in, or the Buccaneers.
It didn't really matter.
Yeah, they were. But the Falcons game was pretty close. Some of the other games were a little closer than they should have been, but the Chiefs were just kind of, after they left their foot off the gas pedal.
Well, that's an Andy Reid.
Yeah, classic Andy Reid.
Yeah. And then the last game of the night was the New Orleans Tampa. Over/under was 52. New Orleans -3. I had 70 on the under. You had 30 on the under. 70 on Tampa. I had 30 on New Orleans.
I think that was the only game where I really liked one of the teams.
Yeah.
And I like Tampa because, and this is what kind of ended up turning out. Breeze he's retiring, it seems like. I think his arm is gone. I also thought Taysom Hill might go in instead of Breeze and screw up spectacularly. That ended up not happening. Partly because I really dislike Taysom Hill. I don't like Tom Brady very much, but I thought it's also difficult to beat a team. Even though it's maybe been statistically shown that it's not that difficult to beat a team 3 times. I think when two teams are pretty evenly matched, and there's it's difficult. Also, there's really no home field advantage the Saints had. And there's no weather advantage. and with their old, I think, and Brady was playing at a higher level, especially the second half of the year than Breeze was. So I thought maybe that in playoff Brady he wins big games. It seems like playoff Breeze seems to lose big games most of the time, not necessarily because of it's his fault, but just things happen. Brady's very lucky. I think he's one of the luckiest players to have ever played. He's a great quarterback. He is not the best quarterback of all time in terms of talent, and even though he's won the most Super Bowl.
Just Super Bowl.
Yeah, he has. He's gotten a lot of touchdowns. He's extremely long lasting and stuff. But I don't. So he's got some sort of deal with the devil, and
yeah,
and I
big game especially.
Yeah. So I thought, I don't know why. I just thought, I wasn't very confident about New Orleans, and I thought Tampa might take it. Especially since they were humiliated in the last game they played against the Saints, 38-3 or something like that at Tampa. So I thought, okay, I think even if the Saints win, I think Tampa's maybe it might only be by a point or two. So I like Tampa there.
Yeah, I still thought New Orleans defense would control Brady more than than would be necessary anyway.
Yeah, you think maybe the front four, they battered Mahomes, but they didn't. I guess Tampa's line held up better than the Chiefs line now.
Yeah, well, I think really what it was Breeze was terrible, and so Tampa had the ball all the time, and
he threw 3 picks.
When New Orleans offense was on the field, they didn't do anything.
Yeah,
and maybe it may have even been that Taysom Hill's absence exposed Breeze more to possessions where he had to throw the ball, where they might do some weird play with Hill, like maybe that distraction not being there.
It could be.
Made it so Breeze had to make throws, and when he had to make throws, he was not accurate.
Yeah.
And I think it may have had an effect on it, showing how far declined Breeze actually is at this.
I think that's a good point. I think we both kind of agreed that Winston, their least used quarterback, was actually their best quarterback, especially probably after week 7 or 8 or something. We thought
you can see that in the the one pass that he threw in the game too, right?
Yeah, he's a legitimate NFL quarterback. He might not be a top 10 quarterback, or even I think he's a top 20 quarterback in the NFL. If he threw for 5,000 yards last year, he threw a bunch of picks, but partly I think that's Bruce Arians' scheme is a little the no risk it, no biscuit, as he says. He threw 33 touchdowns. He's a Heisman Trophy winner. He is younger than, he's like 6 years younger, 4 years younger than Taysom Hill, or 5 years younger. He is and he's so much more talented than Taysom. But he wasn't playing. I don't. Maybe it's an attitude thing. Maybe it's just a connection. I don't know.
No.
I think his going to New Orleans, he probably thought he'd be a little bit like Bridgewater, and that would maybe sell himself to other teams. But maybe since Taysom Hill, as we'll talk about, did not play at all, so he was not eligible for our over-under or our prop bet of more touchdowns or more turnovers. Maybe you think he might be around next year for New Orleans? Maybe he'd be the starter there. I don't know. I'd be upset if I were Taysom Hill, but if I were Jameis Winston, but
no.
Yeah, I don't know what to think.
Yeah,
but I think the Saints played very poorly, and that's why. I don't think the Buccaneers played great, but the Saints played really badly, at least
definitely
offensively, and they let short fields, and I think we were both fortunate. We were talking about it, both a little bit fortunate the under came in, because it looked like that game was going over.
They got very close.
And then I think it was a Breeze threw a pick or something at the end, and another one, and then the Buccaneers held the ball. They didn't want to score. Had they kicked a field goal, it would have gone over.
Right.
It was 52 and a half or something was the
52 was the over under. 30-20. So any score would have pushed it into push or over
a safety.
If it was like a weird safety at the very end of the game somehow. We were fortunate, I think, to hang on to that under, and then with the well, essentially the cancellation of that other bet. Final score then, each of us had 500 fake dollars. Mike, yes, you get to put 660 fake dollars into your fake bank to carry over until next time. I've got $600 in my fake bank, 600 fake dollars in my fake bank. So these will be numbers that we'll carry over from into every week, I think, and we'll just keep the bank separate, so we'll get to see how we do long term against each other in this competition. And we will have another betting round coming up here, I think, for the championship round too, right?
Yeah. Do you want to? I think we have our bets for both the Green Bay Tampa Bay matchup, the Battle of the Bays, in the NFC Championship in Green Bay at Lambeau Field, and we also have the Chiefs Bills matchup in Kansas City at Arrowhead. Both of those are, I think, very intriguing plays. So we have those two. We have the spread matchups for each. We're going to bet on the spread for each of those, and the over/under. We're going to split $100 on each game, like we did
last time. Yeah,
time.
Same rules. $100 in each game. You can split it between the over/under and the spread.
Yes, and then we also have some prop bets. 3 prop bets, right? We have
three sets of prop bets.
Yeah. We have some bets on the over/under of passing yards by the quarterbacks in the NFC Championship game.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, we also have team prop bets on the highest and lowest scoring teams of the 4 over on Sunday. So which team will score the highest, which team will score the lowest. We can split our money any way we want there. And we also have some individual touchdown bets on the Kansas City Chiefs this Sunday in their games.
Slew of players that we're going to have to choose from.
Yeah. So I'm not exactly sure exactly how I'm going to divide my money, but we'll figure it out as we go.
Yes.
Along. Do you want
to? Who's going to go first on this Green Bay game? Green Bay Tampa.
Okay, so let's.
One of us has to go first.
I'll go first on Green Bay Tampa. You can go first on Buffalo Kansas City.
Okay.
So we have Green Bay is favored by 3. So Green Bay -3, over under 51.5. I think that's so that's much. I am not quite sure which way I would go on either of these. As I've said before, I'm not a huge fan of Green Bay. I think Tampa Bay matches up well against them, but it's a cold environment.
Right.
However, the quarterback of Tampa Bay is not averse to playing a lot in cold weather. He's one of the great, probably cold weather quarterbacks, which is not, I'm gonna call him kind of lucky. Maybe he was lucky in one of his famous cold weather games with the tuck that sent him to the first Super Bowl that he went to, when really it should have been a fumble. But he was pretty young. But he has played well in the elements. Going to Pittsburgh to win AFC championship games, winning at home, things like that. So I don't think playing at Green Bay with, there'll be fans in the audience, but
yeah. He also moved to Tampa, so he's been playing much warmer weather this season.
That's true. And the team is
maybe he's lost that ability to play in the cold. We don't know.
Yeah, they either play in warm weather or they play in domes most of the time.
Most of the time, yeah.
Green Bay is built for the elements. I don't think, again, as I don't think Green Bay is as good as the record indicates. I think Aaron Rodgers is fantastic, but I think the team is not built terribly well. They're still missing their best offensive lineman, Bakhtiari. So I'm torn on this one. I'm gonna say I like the over though.
Oh, you're going over on this one.
51.5. Yeah, I think it's gonna be.
Mr. Much prefers the
I do tend
under
to prefer
almost
under.
all the time.
Yeah, I don't like either side, but I'm gonna say I'm not super confident. I'm gonna go with the over. 51.5. I think I could see a 31-24 game, something like that. 31-27, even 28-24 would put me over. So I'm going to go over on this one. I'm not super confident, but I'm going to go $50 on the over. I'm also going to go $50 on Tampa +3 because I think it's possible that Green Bay might win, but I could see them winning.
But maybe they don't win by 3.
Yeah, I could see them winning by 1 or 2. I could see that as being a possibility. And I could also see Tampa winning that game. I think the game's essentially a coin flip. And since the spread is on its favor, is on one side rather than the other, I might as well go with the one that has more points for me on it. So I'll do $50 on Tampa Bay. This might also partly be because I dislike Green Bay and how they've in the Jordan Love situation, a little bit like Taysom Hill. It's probably so it's just it's a little bit I think emotional, which is probably not very good. But I can also see it rationally as being it's Tom Brady in the playoffs, Aaron Rodgers in the playoffs. Aaron Rodgers is fantastic, but he's playing against Brady. So yeah, like over and over in Tampa, 50 each. So I won't lose too much, or maybe I will lose both of them, but I got a chance to.
So I lost 2 bets on the over-unders last time. And so I'm going to be less confident in my over-unders in this one, I think. Both times that I split my bet unevenly, I went unevenly towards the over-under. I think I'm gonna try to learn my lesson there and bet less on the over-under. I think this time, I'm still gonna take the over. I'm only put 30.
Ooh.
30 on the over. But I do like the Packers in this game, so I'm gonna more confidently. So I'm gonna go 70 on the Packers.
Okay. I could see that. I could see that happening. I could see any of these happening.
Much of your uncertainty about the Packers, I had the same uncertainty about Tampa. I think the Packers they know how to play and they know how to win. That's what they seem like this season. They don't have to beat everybody; they just have to beat Tampa, and I don't think Tampa's.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't think they're that solid of a team this season. That they might very well be back here in the same position next year.
Yeah, I could see. Yeah, I could easily
this
see
season. I think the Packers.
I still think of Green Bay as being that team that got blown out by the 49ers.
That was last year. First year of the new coach. This year, they see it. The coach and Rodgers seem to be more in tune.
That's true.
They seem to be rolling when it matters, and I think they'll end up taking this game fairly easily.
I do think Tampa has a tough defensive line, which might again be a little bit like they have a tough defensive line and a good offense, which is kind of what the 49ers had last year. So I could see things happening, but yeah, I could also see Green Bay rolling. But I like if it's a close game, I like Brady's chances. So that's one reason I picked Tampa. And yeah, so I think
both quarterbacks experience. They both won Super Bowls. This isn't crazy going out on a limb here with right an unknown factor. So you can't really go wrong with either pick, right?
No, I don't think so. I think it's it's interesting how especially all 4 teams this year probably have probably 4 of the maybe top 5 or 6 quarterback seasons this year are represented by the Final Four teams and their quarterbacks. So quarterback play has gotten those teams to a very high level.
Yeah.
And and 2 of the best of all time. I think Rodgers is a superior talent to Brady, but Brady is efficient and kind of ruthless. And I think maybe that'll win out, but I don't know.
So there's the battle of the 2 ageless wonders, and then the 2 up and comers in the other game. Then with Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes.
We think Mahomes.
It seems as though we're recording this on Thursday.
Yeah,
Mahomes was a full participant today, still in the concussion protocol.
yeah. I
But
think he's technically listed as limited because of concussion protocol, but he seems like he did everything that was asked of him. And
he took all the snaps apparently, which
yeah.
is,
So I think
yeah, no contact though, as far as
no contact.
no.
Yeah, that injury was very scary looking. Maybe as scary or scarier than his knee injury against the Broncos last year. But of course, he came back from that Broncos injury, and as he said, he could have come back later in the game. As Reed said about this one, had the concussion protocol not been in place, he might have come back later in the game against the Browns. But of course, this is perhaps a potential. We don't know if it was a concussion or not, potential brain injury. We don't want him to risk his lifelong health and things like that. Although maybe we really do, because we're just football fans and we see these people as entertainers and for our pleasure. But we also want the long-term health of Mahomes going forward. So if he plays, we hope he's at least close to 100%. He also has that foot injury, turf toe, it seems like, or sprained foot or something. That he was limping in the first half, of the game last week. So,
press conferences this week, it seemed like Andy Reid didn't seem too concerned with that, but
no,
that's coach's job, is to make it sound like it's not a big deal.
But yeah, you think maybe also it's that footage that maybe led to had he not had that, he might not have been tackled in the same way. He could have maybe braced himself better or gotten farther ahead, and, or something on the play. So who knows that he did get hurt on. So, but assuming I think the spread is what it is. Kansas City -3. That's a little bit of a hedge by Vegas. I think if he's definitely playing, that is going to go up. And if he's not, Buffalo is probably going to be favored by 2-3 at least. I'd say probably maybe 6 points swing down.
Maybe more, yeah.
I can see Chiefs +6, Chiefs -6 if he were healthy. Buffalo +3, 4, 5 if he wasn't.
Right. We're gonna be betting this based on what the odds are right now.
Right now, -3.
Chiefs -3. Over under 54.
Over under 54.
Yep.
It was 56 to start, so it's gone down a little bit.
It has gone down.
People like the under.
What was the score the first time these two teams played?
26-17 in Buffalo. So that's a total of 43. The Chiefs ran the ball all day. 160-some yards rushing. They had 466 yards of offense to Buffalo's 200.
Yeah.
It was much more of a blowout than the score indicates. Again, it was one of those games where Reid is kind of keeping the score close-ish for, I don't know, gentlemanly reasons or something. I don't know. Or just not wanting to.
Part of it may have just been he saw this as a potential future meeting with Buffalo in the playoffs and didn't want them to see anything from their playbook except, here's the ball, Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
That could be.
Run that way.
Yeah.
That was really all they saw, because it was just handoff after handoff that game. And it was
rainy and cold.
Weird weather.
Yeah.
And,
it was supposed to be on a Thursday game, but it got pushed back to a Monday because of the time.
Right.
COVID issues. That they played Buffalo the previous week. They ended up stomping Buffalo that week. So Buffalo lost 2 games in a row that one, and they only lost one more all season. The Hail Murray game.
Right.
So Buffalo has been hot, but they also haven't played the Chiefs. So of course everybody looks good when they don't play the best teams. They played, Pittsburgh when Pittsburgh was cratering. That was one of their big wins. They blew out the Broncos when the Broncos were falling apart. They blew up, the Dolphins when the Dolphins were falling apart, and the Patriots when the Patriots were falling apart. So it's hard to, they only scored 10 points last week against the Ravens. Offensively, they got a pick 6.
Right.
To make it 3. So, that under maybe looks good. I don't know. What is your
Yeah. So again, this is, this is our team. I also don't want any part of this game really. Um, but yeah, they had played a fairly low scoring game the first time around. Um, you don't know if Mahomes is going to be 100%, even if he does play the whole game. I think that under number is probably what I'm going to go with this time. So I will take the under here. And I think I may take the under. I think I'm just going to split the bet again evenly. So I'll go 50 on the under, and because the spread is close, I'll take the Chiefs -3.
That was exactly what I was thinking of doing.
Oh, does that mean that because I went first, that you're going to now change?
I'm thinking about changing
against what you actually wanted to do.
Yeah, I figured if the Chiefs are going to win, if Mahomes plays and the Chiefs win, I think they win by more than 3. So I think that's a bargain because the spread is going to go up if Mahomes is known to play, and I think he will play. So I also like the Chiefs -3. Again, the Chiefs easily beat Buffalo last time. Even again, the score does not. The Chiefs had a lot of wins that were easy wins, but the score didn't indicate how easy.
Right.
I think 3 points is a little too. I could see a backdoor cover or something by the Bills, but I could also see the Chiefs just wanting to put the Bills away and not give them a chance.
Absolutely.
When you look at the other 3 quarterbacks, you're talking.
We have another pundit.
Yes, weighing in. Yes, over the background. Yeah, I was trying to look this up. Yeah, this season though. Yeah, Chiefs 7-10 against the spread.
Yeah. Of course, you can think the spreads are usually weighted to entice. They want the public to bet. Chiefs are a big public team, and the Chiefs, and so some of those spreads are maybe not indicative of the actual, maybe what the real spread would have been without public influence or whatever. I guess all the bets are going to be like that, but
yeah.
7-10, it's not, again, it's a small sample size. Most teams are going to be close to 50-50 on spreads, and over-under should be close to 50-50 also. That's what they want.
If the odds makers are doing their jobs, they should be pretty even, right?
Yeah, although more bunning usually comes in on the over, so people like when the unders come in more.
Yeah.
You said over 54. 26-17 was pretty far under. I could see even like a 31-20 game would be under. Of like a score that I could see, something like that.
Yeah.
I could even see like a 38-14 game, which is under, if it's a blowout. But there's a possibility of like 31-27, which would be over. But I think there are more possibilities, at least in my head, that are coming up under. So I'm going to actually keep the same as you here.
Same split too, or are you going to split it?
Same split as well.
Oh, just the same bet. Wow.
Same bet, because I think that's the right bet. I think it's the right bet, and if it's not the right bet, I won't lose any ground to you. So
right. So we know we're even on this game, but yeah,
it's possible I would have bet more on the Chiefs line and less on the under. I would have maybe bet 70 on the -3 and 30 on the over under. But I'm just going to hedge it and do 50-50 just to.
That's a solid trade. You're ahead right now overall.
Yeah.
And just doing the same bet as me guarantees that this game doesn't affect those odds. Those overall standings. So that's its own strategy in itself. It also shows that we don't want any part of betting this game though too.
No, yeah, that's the same thing. I don't know if I wanted any part of betting either of those games. I did 50-50 on both, which is the ultimate coward's way out. But you shouldn't bet games that you do not want to bet on. The things you want to bet, you should bet on are the ones you think you have an advantage.
Right.
And I do see possibly an advantage if Mahomes plays in the KC -3, but I'm going to keep it 50-50.
So staying on that theme of not necessarily betting games you have like a personal stake in, our prop bet number one here coming up is going to be on over/under passing yardages of the quarterbacks of the NFC Championship game.
Yes.
So we can split our, again, $100 between these two bets, however we like. Brady over/under 289.5 yards. Rodgers over/under of 279.5 yards.
Yeah, this is an interesting one. Again, you think just like judging by their stats this year, or judging by what you think of, the narrative. Anyway, Rodgers having so many touchdown passes, thinking of him as being the presumed MVP this year, you would think that he would have more passing yards in the over/under, but he this year he hasn't passed for a ton of yards. He's passed for a lot of touchdown passes. So I think the over/under being less than Brady's is a smart line. Brady as being over/under 289.5. Well, that's the tough. He had 381 passing yards against Washington in the playoffs. He had 199 against Tampa. But
New Orleans.
I mean, against New Orleans. Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, against New Orleans. But he also had over 300 yards in his last three regular season games. The first half of the season, he was mostly under that total. So I'm just going through the numbers. So he's at 289.5. He's played 18 games this year. He's been over 289.5 once, twice, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of those games. So that means he was under that 9 of those games. So that's a interesting line. There's not really.
It looks like it should be an offensive game. We both picked the over.
Both picked the over. Yeah. Do we want to pile on
right.
this pick, or do we want to hedge?
You hedge that against your other bet too, and then working against that though too is that the game is being played in cold weather area, Green Bay with Green Bay fans. So maybe splitting the money between the two guys is a decent strategy also.
Rodgers. Let me go through the Rodgers stats real quick. Rodgers had 279.5 over/under.
Correct.
He threw for 296 in the win against the Rams in cold weather. He threw
against the defensive team.
Yeah. So, however, he did not. He threw for over 279.5. He's played 17 games this year. He threw for over once, twice, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 out of 17. He's been over 279.5. He's thrown a lot. He hasn't been over 300 a lot of those games, but he's been in like the 280s, 290s a lot. So that would cover it. So of those, plus or minus 279.5, Rodgers is 11 out of 17. Plus or minus 289.5, Brady is 9 out of 18. So you could say just by at least so far by the numbers, you like the Rodgers over better than the Brady over.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But it's a playoff game, and it's likely to be a passing spectacle, though, to some extent, right? So,
Green Bay has a better running game, I think, than Tampa.
Tampa seems to forget about the running game sometimes, but it's like when they do incorporate the running game, they do play better. So
I think if Green Bay gets ahead, they're going to run the ball more. Tampa
that means Tampa's going to be throwing a lot more too, right?
Yeah.
Which could lead to this big escalation in yards.
Yeah, that's tough. I could see them both over, both under. If one,
there are certainly scenarios where
if one is over and one is under, I think Brady is more likely to be over and Rodgers more likely to be under, even if the stats haven't played out this year like that.
Really?
Because I think Rodgers has a lot of games where he throws for like 225 yards but gets 4 touchdowns. Whereas Brady has a lot of games where he throws for like 370 and gets like 1 or 2 touchdowns.
Right.
and I think that could happen. Although I bet on Tampa.
And the over.
Is this me first? I think it's my turn first, isn't it?
We can say that way. Yeah.
I want to hedge again. 50-50. I'm going to go 50 on Brady, the over. 50 on Rodgers. Under. I'll go 50 on. That's what I said. I like 50 on Brady over, 50 on Rodgers under. Even though it's a higher number for Brady, I still think Brady this year has more passing yards. Rodgers threw for 4,299 yards this year. Brady threw for 633.
Yeah.
That's 300 more a game, 300 more over the season divided by 16 games, so almost 20 more a game, and he's only 10 more on the bet. So maybe that I like the over. I like because the spread is only 10, and he's averaging more than 20 yards or about 20 yards a game more. So maybe I would have liked Brady like a 293 and maybe Rodgers a 276 or something would have maybe been my number. So there's a little bit of wiggle room on the I think so. I'm gonna go 50 under for Rodgers, 50 over for Brady. Not the most heroic bet, but I think it's
I am not going to do what you did.
that's good. You're gonna do something different.
I think I'm pretty confident that Rodgers is going to be throwing quite a lot. I think that will then draw this into more of a shootout type scenario. I think I like Rodgers on the over, and I'm pretty confident on that. I'm going to put 75 on Rodgers in the over, and then I'm going to put the other 25 on Brady. Also on the over.
Oh, both over.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's yeah.
You like Green Bay in this game. It seems like a lot more than I do.
Yeah. Well, and I've done well with Green Bay in the last week.
That's true.
Round
Right.
2, so
Yeah.
predicted them fairly accurately. So I'm going to stick
You
with
might have
that.
them. You might have a game.
Ride that out one more
Yeah.
game.
Maybe I'm on tilt with Green Bay as another gambling reference. I'm not seeing straight with my dislike of the Green Bay front office and their. I like Rodgers though. I do kind of like him. I like his aloofness and his. He's a great player, but I could see that I'm not confident in the coaching staff of Green Bay or the front office in getting him all those yards. I think they might run the ball a lot, and they could cost them, or it could be because they don't, a little bit like Andy Reid. They don't really care. They want to, they don't really care how they win, or they don't necessarily want to maximize their own gains for some reason. So yeah, okay. 25 on Brady over, 75 Rodgers over.
Yep.
I was very close to going Rodgers to over, but I think I'm going to stick under for him.
All right. Now we're going to break from our very short tradition anyway, and instead of just these kind of more traditional bets, now we've got this other prop bet next on the highest and lowest scoring teams of the conference championship rounds. We've got how do we want to set this up?
Okay, so we have $100. Here we have 8 potential bets. I guess we can divide. I think we were going to say we could divide it
up to 4 ways.
Up to 4 ways. I don't know if I will divide it 4 ways for this one, but we can divide it up to 4 ways. And so if you bet $100, we have, these are for the total final scores of this weekend, which team will score the highest of the 4 teams, which team will score the lowest. We haven't quite decided in case of a tie, what we're going to do, I think maybe do you want to just make it easier, or do you want to,
We could, yeah.
or do you
Or
want
we
to?
could just punt on deciding how to handle it until we
Yeah,
figure it out. There's probably a way that it is handled.
yeah.
But
Because I don't know if if you win half of, like, if it's a two-way, it'll be. I guess um, it'd have to be a two. There's only the highest and lowest two games, since games can't end in ties.
it has to be the highest scoring team from each game.
Yeah,
They have to have the
scoring team,
same high score, the same
the lowest scoring team from each game could match.
Yeah.
I
It's
guess the highest.
pretty unlikely that will happen, but you never
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
possible.
Okay. Let's just
So-
we'll cross that bridge if we come to it.
So the odds on the games are the highest scoring team, Casey's plus 175,
mhm.
Green Bay plus 210, Buffalo plus 330, Bucks plus 375. So I think I'm gonna split it halfway between high and low.
Okay. I think I'll do that too. Or something. I'll do some high and some low.
Yeah. I'm not really confident in this at all.
Do you want to go
But-
through the low scoring teams first?
Yeah, sure. So the low score teams, Bucks plus 180, Buffalo plus 210, KC plus 340, Green Bay plus 375.
Okay.
So just on look at the odds, like the Chiefs are presumed to be the highest scoring team of this group, even with the possibility of Mahomes not playing. Bucks are likely to be the lowest scoring team, is how these are laid out. I think I want to go kind of in the middle of these. I don't like betting on the Chiefs or against the Chiefs necessarily. So I think I'm going to go on the highest. I'm going to pick Green Bay, stick with the same trend.
Okay.
So
Plus
if Green Bay
210.
does well, I will do well in mini bets.
Yeah.
And not necessarily bet against myself in the same regard. So I'll put $50 on Green Bay being the highest scoring team.
Okay.
And I think this time I will bet again, like kind of with the Chiefs, and say Buffalo will be the lowest scoring team. So
Okay.
I'll take $50 on Buffalo lowest scoring.
Okay. I think I also like the Buffalo as the lowest scoring team. I think, yeah, I could do plus 50 on Buffalo, the lowest scoring. I'm going to hedge just a little bit on the highest. I have $50 on the highest scoring. I'm going to hedge just a little bit. I'm going to split my 50, 25 and 25 between Green Bay and Tampa Bay. I think one of those teams will be the highest scoring. And if Tampa wins, I like my chances. So that's a little bit of a kind of going with my bet of Tampa with the spread and the over. So yeah, 25 on Green Bay.
You also get a little higher odds if Tampa does play out.
Yeah, Tampa was
highest
plus
scoring.
375, so that's almost a plus 100 on the $25 bet.
So really, you're just saying that you think the highest scoring team will come out of the
Yeah, that's what I
NFC
think.
game.
I kind of think that.
But you're not willing to go one.
I'm not willing to go all the way with
Yeah.
Tampa because I think I like that number. I think is very high, but I think Green Bay has a good shot of winning that game. So that's why I like. I think I can break if Green Bay does it, I can break even really on that bet.
Yeah.
But if Tampa does it, I will be ahead. So
Push those numbers up
I don't
for
need
you.
to bet as much. I thought, and I also think Buffalo, like you did, I think the Chiefs will beat Buffalo, and I'm not, since looking at that Buffalo game against the Ravens, I'm not that confident about Buffalo's offense. They also got pretty lucky against Indianapolis. And I think the Chiefs will hold them, or they have a good possibility anyway, depending on the weather, depending on the circumstances of the game. Also, last game, You know, they only against the Chiefs, they only scored 17 at home. This is going to be in a more hostile environment, more pressure on the Bills for sure. And I don't know if they're built for that yet. Maybe. So I like, so I like 50 on Buffalo as the lowest, 25 on the highest for both Green Bay and Tampa Bay.
All right. And then for our final prop bet, we have a series of players. We're going to make bets on which Chiefs players will score touchdowns.
Yes.
Do
you want me to go through the? Do you want to go through the numbers? I'll go through the numbers. Yep. Okay, so there are 1, 2, 3, 14 on the William Hill website. There are 14 Chiefs listed as potential touchdown scorers in the AFC Championship game to score one touchdown. And for $100, I'll give the prices for the $100 bet. The two, unsurprisingly, and this is touchdowns. It seems like either rushing or scoring. So passing touchdowns don't count. So, but Mahomes would be a guarantee win probably if he plays. So, but so they don't. It's running or receiving touchdowns. Kelsey is minus 125. So you'd have to bet 125 to make 100. Tyreek Hill minus 120. They're the only ones in. With negatives. Clyde Edwards-Helaire plus 125. Darrell Williams plus 200. Of course, Darrell Williams was the main running back last week when Edwards-Helaire was out. Le'Veon Bell, we're not sure about his health.
Edwards-Helaire may be back.
He may be back this week. We don't know.
Bell may not be.
Yeah, he has a knee issue. Edwards-Helaire has the ankle, hip. It looked like a really bad injury. One of the.
Was it hip and high ankle sprain? And yeah.
But Edwards-Helaire ran all over Buffalo in the first game, but he didn't get a touchdown. That was Darrell Williams who got the rushing touchdown. So
right.
That was I think that was maybe Le'Veon Bell's first game with the Chiefs, or maybe right before they signed Le'Veon Bell.
Did they sign him, but he didn't play in that one yet?
That may have been it. It was early.
That might have, maybe he wasn't quite ready to play. I'm not sure. Yeah, or he hadn't cleared the protocol yet, or something like that.
He didn't play very much at all if he hadn't. It was a Edwards-Helaire, Darrell Williams show. Yeah. Mahomes is plus 225. Of course, he had a rushing touchdown last week. Again, with the potential injury concerns, he might not run the ball as much, but who knows? He was also, of course, Sammy Watkins tried to throw a pass to Patrick Mahomes a few weeks back that did not work out very well. So who knows if they'll do a Philly special type of play. But he's plus 225. The aforementioned Sammy Watkins is plus 250. He has been hurt. It seems like he will probably play against Buffalo, but who knows? Plus 250. Plus 300 for Mecole Hardman, who is able to score from running the ball, or those little kind of touch passes that Mahomes gives him, like with Tyreek Hill, or perhaps potential punt return, kickoff return touchdown.
He's also a third or fourth receiver option, so he may be pulling the weakest defensive player.
Yeah, and he's a deep threat.
If he gets open somewhere anywhere, he has the speed to get through any defense, especially if he's in open field.
Yeah, so he's plus 300. He scored a few touchdowns this year. Le'Veon Bell is plus 350, and we don't know his health status. Also, we don't know exactly what his role on the depth chart is right now. Especially with Edwards-Helaire kind of in limbo, and Darrell Williams have such a good game last week. We have.
Is the Robinson up next?
Yeah, we have Robinson being plus 400 for the Chiefs. As he catches some touchdowns fairly often, or he's also he's like a third or fourth receiver kind of thing. Demarcus Robinson.
but had some kind of big plays in the playoffs last season, right? So, yeah,
Yeah, he had some big
wouldn't
plays
be
last season.
it wouldn't be crazy for him to be involved somehow,
No,
especially
I think
late.
yeah.
So
Plus
depending
400.
on lots of health issues could
He's
come up during
caught
the game.
touchdowns. Some of the kind of crazy broken play touchdowns end up going to Demarcus Robinson. That one in Mahomes' first year as a starter against San Francisco when he was kind of just running all over the place. Wasn't that to Robinson or was that to Chris Conley maybe even? I don't know. Robinson's gotten a few of those kind of touchdowns. So, some of those big ones against the Raiders, I think, in that one 28 point second quarter, was Demarcus Robinson. So he's there. The defense and special teams kind of interesting one, plus 450. Maybe they'll be pick six, fumble recover, return touchdown, or this is one thing where maybe if you bet on Hardman, you could double up on the defense, special teams, or Pringle.
That's a great strategy.
Plus 450. Pringle.
I was going to hold off on saying that one until after later.
I maybe read your mind there. Pringle was plus 800. Of course, he had a kickoff return touchdown this year for the Chiefs.
And he's been involved more in the passing game recently too.
That's true.
Especially with Watkins out and Hill sometimes battling some nagging injuries during games late in games after being hit late a few times out of bounds and stuff like that.
Yeah. Plus 450. That's an interesting for defensive back to the defensive special teams. How many touchdowns have the Chiefs scored defensively and on special teams this year? They had the two special teams touchdowns. I remember the Tyrann Mathieu interception return touchdown against the
I think Hardman had a punt return, I think, too.
Yeah, Hardman had a punt return. Pringle had a kickoff return. I remember Tyrann Mathieu had a touchdown return. Were there any other touchdown returns?
Possibly, but those are the ones that
that's the ones I remember.
My
head. But Pringle's plus 800. Then we have kind of the really out there.
Kind of far down the list.
We have Anthony Sherman, the sausage, plus 1,600, although he did catch one touchdown pass, one of those underhanded softball pitches that usually Travis Kelce catches. But Sherman caught that one. Then we have backup tight end Nick Keiser, plus 2,000. And then Darwin Thompson, also plus 2,000, which I think might be interesting depending on the injury situations with the running backs ahead of him.
Right.
I think Thompson is much more likely to get a touchdown than Keiser is.
Yes.
I don't know if still that's worth a bet or not. Do you have any?
Should we have I think that, since these are kind of higher odds on these, that, we talked again about splitting the bet 4 ways again. So $25 minimum bet on this. I'm going to split it 4 ways.
I think I'm going to do 4 ways too. I think probably we have a similar situation where we're probably looking for lottery tickets here.
Yeah.
And which ones?
Maybe we should alternate picks on this.
Okay.
And you pick one, I'll pick one, and
yeah.
Like that. Then we don't have to go all the way through it.
The one I like the most, I think, is Hardman at plus 300. So I'll do 25 on him.
I also like that, but I'm going to take the defense first then.
Okay.
Just to make it more interesting.
Okay. Yeah.
Defense special team at plus 450.
Okay.
And we can take the same picks though. I mean, that's a.
Yeah, I think so too. I also like then, kind of on the same line of Hardman, I also like Demarcus Robinson at plus 400. I like the kind of second tier receivers. I think that Hill and Kelce are pretty. If I could only make one bet, I might put it on Hill or Kelce. I think each of them are pretty likely to get a touchdown. But if the Chiefs score a lot of points, I could also see Buffalo really trying to clamp down on either Hill or Kelce, and I wouldn't necessarily know which one they're going to clamp down on.
Yeah.
That does open things up for. Usually, you can't clamp down on both of them, and if you do, that also opens up more for these guys. So, yeah, I like. So I'll say Robinson at plus 25 is my second one.
25 plus 400, right?
Plus 400, yeah. $25 plus 400, yeah.
And those are, I think we would have ended up with exactly the same picks. um, yeah, because I would take. I'm not sure about the health of a lot of the players. Like I think Kelsey's the most likely to get a touchdown.
Mhm.
But it's -125. I don't want to take.
Yeah,
the
Hill
negative
-120. I don't want to take those either. I think they're about. I think Kelsey's a little more likely to score a touchdown than Hill, but which is reflected in the price. But I don't like either of those.
Yeah, and
And
then
$125, maybe, or if I had $250, maybe I'd split it between Kelsey and Hill, and thinking I would probably at worst break even about, and at best I'd get both of them. But
right, and it still would make the same sense as putting the same bet on somebody else then, and
yeah,
getting down the list somewhere. But yeah, like Edwards-Helaire, Le'Veon Bell, and Sammy Watkins are a little bit risky with the health issues. So I personally I don't want to bet on any of them.
I might. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Because I don't know, and Mahomes too. I don't know that Mahomes is going to be running the ball.
Yeah, is he going to run it?
So that's 4 players there that have maybe nagging injuries that they don't want to risk too much, and it's not maybe great for us betting on them.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm not sure how far I want to go down this list either. So like Sherman, I don't think is likely. Kaiser, I don't think is likely. Darwin Thompson, I think like if Edwards-Helaire is on the roster, like Thompson might not even be active for the game. So yeah, maybe take Williams plus 200 for that. That's
Okay.
not really all that interesting.
I like that one too.
I'll take do that Williams.
Okay. My third one, just to do something a little Hardman, Demarcus Robinson. I'm gonna do Pringle plus 800. That's of the big ones. I think he and Robinson are by this point in the year. Pringle and Robinson seem to be almost equal in terms of playing time, and Pringle has that special teams potential that I don't think Robinson. Although Robinson sometimes tries to return punts, but usually he ends up going about 5 yards backwards in trying to get around. So I like Pringle at plus 25 there. Plus 800 with $25. So that would be a $200
payout if it hits, right?
Yeah.
I like we had talked about earlier. You may be doing this as well. I do like that potential of doubling up with Hardman in the defense. So I think I'm going to go ahead and do that for my third pick.
Okay.
I'm guessing you're going to take the defense with your fourth.
No, I'm just going to take Darrell Williams.
Okay.
I think he. So that's where we agree again. I like the. I like him. He's the most bruising of the backs. I think Edwards-Helaire has a little bit of trouble around the goal line. At least he has sometimes this year. Darrell Williams seems to be the short yardage guy, and especially maybe the plays won't be quite as creative in a short yardage situation because Mahomes might not run it as much. Darrell Williams might get the ball second and goal, something like that, third and goal, more than Edwards-Helaire, maybe more than Mahomes. And Bell, I think Bell is. If the Chiefs had a good offensive line, Bell would be the best running back because he is very patient and waits for blocks. You can't really do that with the Chiefs line as it is currently. Maybe
unless it's like outside.
Yeah, maybe next year if like Duvernay comes back and that everybody's healthy or whatever, Bell would be a very good player for the Chiefs. But I think the more straightforward style Darrell Williams, I think he's a little bigger than Edwards-Helaire. Edwards-Helaire also, though, he has more possibility of catching the ball out of the backfield and getting a touchdown. But again, his health, I kind of don't want to mess with that. So I'm gonna go Darrell Williams plus 200 with my last 25. I know
and the odds aren't that great for Edwards-Helaire too, only plus 125.
Yeah, I guess the odds I would only win $50 on a plus a $25 bet, but
yeah.
I'd only be even if I missed all, I like that one. I figure I won't lose.
I don't even like what It wouldn't even be that much, right? If it's a $25 bet,
What's,
you'd
if I
only
bet
get,
if I bet $100, I'd win 200 on Daryl Williams.
on Williams, right. I was thinking of on Edwards-Helaire.
On Edwards-Helaire, yeah, it's
You'd
not.
only
It's
win
not
like
much,
$6 or something on a 20.
Yeah, I was like, what's the point? Yeah,
Right.
what's the point?
So you had your kind of flyer with
I'd
Pringle.
win. I'd win like $31 on.
Right. Yeah. So you'd win $6 on your. You'd end up with $31, right?
No, it's plus 125. So I'd be up. So I bet $100. I'd have 225.
If you bet 100, but you're only talking about betting $25 though.
Yeah, but so I would get 31 plus. So 25 plus 31 would be 50. I'd have $56. Right?
No. It's what.
Because I would keep the money that I had.
You would get that, right?
I'd win $31 because I bet 25
Yeah, so you get the $25 back plus your
plus 31, so I'd have 56.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, sometimes it's hard to remember how, because the way we're keeping track anyway, we're keeping that old money. If we win it, we get the old money back plus the new money. But if we lose it, we just lose.
Or you think of it, you spend it and then you get your bet plus your bet.
Yeah.
But on this one, it's different though, because these are different odds.
Yeah, each one is different. Yeah. So
yeah.
What's your fourth one?
So you took your flyer on Pringle. I will go even further because I am behind. I'm going to put $25 on Sherman.
Ooh, a Sherman bet. Oh, that's an interesting one. You think? Yeah, well, it could be because he might get creative around the goal line and go for Sherman rather than Mahomes. Go for the sausage in a weird
the sausage.
Maybe one of those underhand passes or a fullback dive.
Yes.
Roll out pass. Sherman does play more around the goal line. Who knows?
I like that one at the plus 1600 though, especially. So that's
okay.
Yeah.
He does have. Does he have any? He has one touchdown this year in 16 games, so it's an average bet.
Yeah.
So he scored 1/16 of a touchdown every game. So
yes. You don't know which game is going to come in though, so it could be be this one. We don't know.
You don't. Yeah.
So all right. So that concludes our pick set now for the championship weekend.
Yeah. So how confident are you, Andrew?
Well, I think if the Packers do well as a whole, I will do well. If they don't do well, I will be in a big hole. I think starting next week.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think I could see them winning easily, or I could see them struggling. You never know. It's one of those things. Even if you are a great gambler, football is very unpredictable. At least on a game by game basis, especially. Well, we've wrapped up another exciting, dare I say, scintillating discussion of the NFL playoffs in this 2020-2021 season, where the championship games now are betting, I think, has also reached championship levels.
Only 2 weeks in, too. We're already there.
We're already there. Patrick Mahomes took 18 games to get to the championship game. Whereas we've only just started betting, and now we're looking great. We both made money last week. I think we have shot. We have a shot of at least not losing all of our money this week.
Yeah.
So that's we have that to look forward to. Until next week, or maybe 2 weeks from now, we'll come back and talk about Super Bowl, which we will also.
We'll only have one game to bet on, but lots of prop bets.
Lots of props, only one game. So that's going to be interesting. I really hope, and I know you do, the Chiefs will be in the Super Bowl, and that we can reluctantly bet on and then have more fun with the prop bets.
Yes.
Until then, I am Mike Werman. He is Andrew Scaff. We are the One Track Power Hour. Please like and or subscribe to our little show here on YouTube. We like to do it even if you guys don't watch, but less sad if we do get viewers. Yeah, we've enjoyed it so far, and we'll hope to kind of keep up this kind of regular banter. And until then, we meet again next time. I am Mike Berman. We did this already.
Keep going. Just keep go right back into the
I'm
loop.
not going to repeat our place. But I will. I don't know if you'll give me the we nailed it thing here. We kind of screwed this one up. We can cut this part out, I hope. And
No, we're leaving it.
anyway,
I was hoping it was going to get into a loop, and you just keep going back.
loop.
You almost end it, and then
It wasn't actually Patrick Mahomes who suffered from the brain injury. It was me watching it, because I've seen that tackle so many times now. I have developed some sort of mini stroke, maybe.
a sympathetic.
Sympathetic
brain
concussion.
injury.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kuvans.
An SBI.
Yes. Anyway, I'll see you later, Andrew.